Today we are going to start with class 11th practical, and first practical we are having is titration. Our aim is to determine the strength of given solution of sodium hydroxide by titrating it against a standard solution of M/20 oxalic acid. So if you see that we are going to find the strength, the process is titration. What is titration all about? I will tell you. And I have taken a solution of sodium hydroxide and acid. So since we are comparing and we are reacting these two, one acid and other base, so such titration is known as neutralization titration. Okay? So in 11th class basically we are having neutralization titration. So since I have taken sodium hydroxide and oxalic acid, and thus the reaction takes place between the two is like this, it goes this way, one molecule of oxalic acid. The formula of oxalic acid is COH dot 2H2O, water of crystallization, react with two molecules of NaOH to form sodium oxalate along with the liberation of water molecules. So three water molecules liberated out. So as it is given in the question, we are supposed to prepare M/20 oxalic acid. So how to prepare this oxalic acid? Okay, so first of all we will do the calculation and I tell you how to prepare this M/20 oxalic acid. So this is the molarity. The formula of molarity is number of moles, that is mass divided by molar mass of solute per liter of solution. So if I am taking volume in ml, will be divided by 1000. So this is the formula of molarity that you have been studying in class in chapter 1st. So molarity, what we are having is M/20. So I have written it as M1/20. Mass, we are supposed to find that how much amount of oxalic acid do we require to add in 250 ml if I am preparing it in 250 ml. Okay. So I have taken this 1/20 mass. Molar mass of oxalic acid is 126 multiplied by 1000 and volume, as I am going to prepare it in 250 ml of solution, so that will be the volume of solution. So after calculation I got this as the amount. So what am I supposed to do is, if I am supposed to prepare M/20 oxalic acid, I have to take this much gram, that is 1.575 gram of oxalic acid in 250 ml of solution, mix it well. That solution we are having is oxalic acid with M/20 molarity. Okay, so I have prepared the solution of oxalic acid, and this is the solution of oxalic acid that I have prepared and have taken small amount. Now here is the apparatus. I'll show you. This is burette stand. One tile I have used just to find the exact color and to observe the proper color. Here I am having a clamp stand to which this burette is folded. So I have folded one burette, and this is parallax paper. This parallax paper actually is used to find or take the reading very easily in a very clear manner. Okay. So how to prepare, just let me show you. I am taking a small white paper and just fold it once, tear it from two sides, and this has become the parallax paper where you can fit the burette this way. So I have fitted the burette, the paper, this is known as parallax paper, just to note the reading in a simple way. Okay, this is burette. Okay, and I have to fill this burette with the acid. This I have taken base, that is sodium hydroxide, and now I am having acid and base, and we are going to titrate acid with base. These are conical flasks having conical shape. This is pipette. The pipette is used, it has this volume of 20 ml, and there is a mark over it. Can you see this mark? So this mark shows that once you start sucking it or siphon it from the solution, you have to take up to this level. This level makes the solution of 20 ml. I'll show you how to do this. This is the funnel, just to pour the solution into the funnel. And here I am using phenolphthalein as an indicator to show that the reaction between acid and base takes place, and at particular point when the acid is completely consumed, then the base will be left over, and this phenolphthalein will show its color. So let's start with the solution. So I've taken this burette stand towards me and add some amount of this acid. Before going to start with, you have to rinse this burette and pipette and each and every apparatus like funnel, conical flask, pipette, everything you are supposed to clean it. And then once you fill this, make sure there is no air bubble left in the burette, and after filling you have to remove this funnel. Okay? So I have filled, you can see that the level of the solution goes 0 ml. This is the level. If you see, this level comes here and it is 0. Okay? The capacity of this burette is 50 ml. You can see here we are having total 50 ml. Okay? So it can read the volume up to 50 ml. Now I am taking this pipette, a flask. I have rinsed it earlier, and I am going to siphon this NaOH solution or suck this NaOH solution using this pipette. That gives the accurate volume of this NaOH solution. Okay? So once I suck this solution in the pipette, I'll just make this level up to this mark. And at this mark, I'll take out the solution and transfer it to this flask. Once I transfer this solution in the flask, here I am having acid, and in the burette I am having base. Now this is indicator phenolphthalein. So phenolphthalein indicator is used just to tell us about the endpoint. And what is endpoint? I have added 2 drops of indicator. Endpoint basically is the point where it tells that the reaction is complete. That means acid has completely neutralized base, and that shows some change in color. So indicator is used only used to show the change in color. So now I have this flask which has acid in it, and it has indicator, and this burette is having base. Okay, so I'm going to start this solution adding dropwise in the flask. This process basically is known as titration. Can you see some drops coming down in the flask? So base has been added to acid, and the neutralization reaction takes place here in the flask. I have allowed only the dropwise fall down of this base in the flask so that mixing should be continued. You have to mix this solution continuously. The indicator is already there, and at particular point when this base completely neutralizes acid, so acid khatam ho jayega, salt ban jayega, and that extra amount of base will be left over. It left behind, and then it shows some change in color. Okay, shows that the amount of acid is now decreasing, and still base is there which is continuously added to this one and increases the amount and we found that the base has continuously been added. We are just checking that whether a pink color has been obtained, that will be permanent. So that single drop of base that has been added to this acid and the pink color retains, that we call as endpoint, because at that point the base completely neutralizes acid and the indicator present in the base will show its color with the extra drop of base left. Extra drop क्यों कह रही हूँ मैं? Because now this base doesn't find any acid to react with. एसिड सारा न्यूट्रलाइज हो जाएगा, एसिड नीचे नहीं बचेगा, और इसलिए वो जो एक्स्ट्रा ड्रॉप है वो एक्स्ट्रा ड्रॉप इंडिकेटर के साथ अपना पिंक कलर देगा. So now you can see this pink color comes and it retains comparatively for a longer time. This should be done with continuous stirring and dropwise addition of this base. And now we see that the pink color retains for more longer time. And now we have to little bit slower to check whether this pink color remains or it goes or it fades away. So this shows that कि हमारा जो end point है वो आने वाला है. It is almost near to this volume, and finally we found that this pink color retains. It gives a permanent pink color which does not fades away, and that is the end point. Now we'll move to the reading, and if I take this parallax paper you can find that the reading goes. अच्छा आप देखिए एक बार, फिर मैं इसे अपने साइड में करती हूँ. ठीक है, and the reading comes out to be 17.2. Now we'll move to this observation table. Serial number, volume of oxalic acid will always be fixed, that is 20 ml as we have taken from the pipette, and burette reading as the initial reading was 0.0 and final reading is 17.2 that we have calculated, and we have come up with this, and difference between the two gives us the volume of NaOH. Second, we have to repeat this process again, but no need to refill this burette, and what we will do, we have ended up with this reading and we'll start with the same reading. Again we take the reading by doing the same process, and we'll find another reading, take the difference of final and initial, and we'll get the volume of this NaOH. Take third reading, you have to repeat the process until unless you get the exactly two similar consecutive reading, and that we call it as concordant reading. Using that concordant reading, all three we are not using, only that concordant reading, which is the consecutive similar reading, we are supposed to do the calculation. So calculation, we are using this formula m1 v1 by n1 is equals to m2 v2 by n2. In case molarity is given to you, in suppose if normality will be given to you, we are using n. That is the only difference. So m1 v1 divided by n1, what is n? If we see the balance equation, n comes out to be 2. M is molarity that we are supposed to find for NaOH. V of NaOH we have calculated from this burette reading or experiment. M2 is given to us, that is m by 20. Volume of oxalic acid we have taken always fixed, that is 20 ml, and N2 is 1. In the balance equation we can see that only 1 mole of oxalic acid has been used. So using this we can find the molarity of NaOH. Now once this molarity of NaOH has been calculated, multiplying by its molar mass, we can find the strength of this solution, that is NaOH. So whatever the molarity comes out by using this calculation, multiply it by its molar mass, that is 40, and we'll get the strength. In case if I am having normality, in place of molecular mass, we are supposed to use equivalent mass. That's it. So this all about is the practical. Just see, try it, and then we'll continue in the lab. Thank you.